Alexa, shut the f up. What is going on, guys? It is Joe, and welcome back to a brand new YouTube video. Welcome to a full day of eating, but not a typical full day of eating, because today we are eating like none other, or should I say not eating, because that's what we're going to be doing for the first half of the day. Mr. Gallagher, Kinobody himself. And when I mean by not eating, if you don't know who he is, well, let me explain. See, Gallagher, aka Kinobody, is a big proponent of what's called intermittent fasting. So that means for breakfast, we are having absolutely nothing, and instead, we're gonna be having this lovely cup of coffee. That's just straight black coffee, by the way, because creamers, sugars, milks, all that stuff, get that out of the house. Because when it comes to intermittent fasting, for those that don't know what it is, it's basically a huge window throughout the entire day where you're actually not consuming any calories, and a very small window where you're actually allowed to consume calories. See, it's like fasting, but intermittently. So for the first 6 to 8 hours of the day, I'm consuming no food whatsoever, just drinking some water, drinking some black coffee, in an effort to suppress my appetite until we actually get to eat. What this actually allows you to do, though, is limit the amount of time that you're allowed to eat. So if we actually narrow that time down, for those that are trying to get leaner, lose some body fat, that's actually a really good tool, because the less time you have to eat throughout the entire day gives you less opportunity to actually consume calories. A very effective way for people to actually lose fat and lose weight. Is it ideal for necessarily building muscle or getting bigger? Well, we'll get into that later on in the video. But as for now, I'm gonna go ahead and just drink my breakfast. Oh yeah. Alrighty, we are here with the first official meal of the day, officially breaking the fast. Since the coffee, I've actually been sipping on some sparkling water, some San Pellegrino out of the glass bottle, feeling kind of bougie, not gonna lie. Most people out there aren't really a fan of sparkling water. Personally, I don't actually mind it at all. And some days, I actually almost prefer sparkling water. However, with the first meal of the breaking the fast, what we're having is a 1.5 scoops of protein. Gallagher has his own collagen protein. I don't actually have that, but what I do have is this casing, so we're doing 1.5 scoops of this right here. We have 1 apple for our fruit, and then he's actually a fan of some Rice Krispie treats. The one that he eats is like this marshmallow, like super thick, dense one. Couldn't find that. It's around like 250 calories or so 3 of these will be around 270. So overall calories for the first meal, estimated, because he kind of just guesstimates his calories, right around maybe 500, a little bit over, a little bit less. So he likes to break the fast like a nice small meal, which if you're fasting, if you break it with a pretty big, like especially carb heavy meal, you might get kind of lethargic, go into a bit of a food coma, and then probably pass out, which is almost counterintuitive to why maybe some people even intermittent fast, because if their morning is super busy and they don't really like want to think about food or worry about eating, then they might just start intermittent fasting by default and just prolong that first meal, get a bunch of work done, drink some coffee, have some sparkling water, and be as productive as possible and just carry that momentum on for the rest of the day. So if you eat like a smaller meal, it allows you to kind of satisfy that hunger without making you lethargic. And you already know I'm really excited to eat these Rice Krispies, because after not eating for such a long time, these are about to taste heavenly. I woke up around 6 a.m. It's around 1:43, so I've been fasting for quite some time, and it is time to dig in. Oh, baby. Now, a little trick with the protein that Kinobody does, he actually likes to make it with like warm water to kind of sip on the protein a little bit slower. And the slower you eat your meal, the more time you take, the more time your brain has to register that you're actually getting full. So if you eat a meal like super quick, then there's not enough time to signal from your stomach to your brain to register that you're full. So you actually might keep eating. So the slower you eat, the better. I will say it, warm water with a protein, really good. And then last but not least is an apple here. Now, a little fun fact about myself, I actually used to do intermittent fasting for a long time. I actually used to kind of follow Kinobody's protocols as far as intermittent fasting, and when we train, which will be after this meal, reverse pyramid training. That used to be my style as far as working out and the way I ate for quite some time. Now, again, the reasons why I actually stopped training like that and eating like that later on in the video, but it was actually very sustainable and very fun to kind of do like that. So for those that are like maybe wondering if you want to start intermittent fasting or if you should or not, I mean, I say just go for it, try it, see if you like it. I didn't know I was gonna like it until I actually tried it. I was actually against the whole idea when I first found out who he was back in like 2017. Tried it out, actually enjoyed it, and did it for a couple of years, to be honest with you. If you're kind of curious about trying this style of eating, because it's not really a diet per se, it's more like just a way of eating. So if you're curious about trying it, I say go for it. Anyways, I'm gonna eat this and I will see you guys as the day rolls on.
You know who Kinobody is?
Kinobody?
Kinobody. Gallagher, or yeah or no?
Because he eats certain shit, right?
He eats like, he does intermittent fasting and stuff like that. You know what that is?
Yeah.
I'm basically doing a day in the, like almost like a day in the life. I'm eating like him and training like him for a day. What do you think about sparkling water though?
You got that shit out the garbage can, huh?
This? No, I actually went to the store and I bought this.
I have members that grab that shit all the time. I don't like sparkling water, bro.
You're not a fan of sparkling water?
That shit's gross.
Are you serious? No, sparkling water is...
What's the benefit?
It's the bubbles, dude. What do you mean?
The bubble.
The bubbles.
I said you think sparkling water is better than regular water.
You know, it's like, it's almost situational. You know what I mean? Like, there's some days I feel in the bubbles and there's some days where I'm like, you know what? I'm feeling less bubbly. I used to drink sparkling water every day, like every day. Because I would fast, and it actually helps like while you're fasting because like the carbonation fills you up. And if you're feeling extra bougie, like that's what they go for. Like if you pick a couple on a date and like you're drinking sparkling water, she's like, wow, this guy's classy. Alrighty, so we have a little bit of a push workout going right now. Now, if you're gonna be training like Kinobody, there's a couple things that you need to do. One, you need to heavily focus on the upper chest. He's all about building that upper chest. Now, he trains in a very specific way where he only trains 3 times per week, which there's nothing wrong with that. However, he does a method called reverse pyramid training. Basically, what you just start off as your heaviest set first. You do a couple warm-ups, make sure you're preventing injury, but you start off your heaviest set first, and he trains in this like 4 to 6 rep range, which is kind of like weird because he's going for this very aesthetic look, but that rep range is like a very like almost powerlifting-esque rep range. It's not really like a bodybuilding or like aesthetic rep range, but followed by that first set, he'll rest 2 to 3 minutes and then do a couple more back off sets where he'll lighten the weight and increase the reps as he goes. So he does hit a pretty wide spectrum of reps, but it just kind of throws you off a little bit because it's going for this aesthetic look, but he's also hitting it like in this lower rep range that isn't necessarily the most, in my opinion, the most ideal for aesthetics. But it is what it is, and so since we're going 4 to 6 reps, we're gonna try and hit a little bit of a heavier weight here on this incline dumbbell press. I think I'm gonna try and push some 90s in that 4 to 6 rep range. I haven't done that in quite some time because my rep ranges are a lot higher. I'm usually trying to do like a failure set between 10 to 20, so we're cutting that almost in half, so let's see what we can do. Alrighty. Big boy set, big boy set. Ooh, ooh. Jeez. Ooh. 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 Okay. Oh, jeez Louise. Whew. Holy sh**. That felt, I'm not gonna lie, pretty darn heavy, but it was only for 5 reps, so it's kind of like not too crazy heavy. And like he always talks about when he trains, he like the last rep should feel somewhat smooth. Like it shouldn't really be a huge grinder. I honestly probably could have tried to go for one more, just to kind of keep the training very Kinobody-esque. That's where we're gonna keep it there for the day. Need to rest for 2 to 3 minutes. Then hit some back off sets with a little more volume. Alrighty, back in the weight off around 15 pounds. Gonna try and shoot in this rep range relatively between 6 to 8. So we go a little lighter on the weight, increase the rep range. This is reverse pyramid training. Ooh, ooh. Ooh, okay. Yep. Whew. Feeling like a Kino warrior already. Changed my name to Kino Joe on Instagram. Okay. All right, now I'm gonna leave this full workout in the description down below. Now this is something that I kind of came up with based off of like Kinobody's training style and the way he works out. But this next exercise is gonna be a flat cable press. I would go on to some sort of like machine press next, but Both of them are actually taken right now in the gym, so this is the next best option. But after kind of the heavy reverse pyramid training, he likes to get a little bit more volume in by doing some sort of like machine press, something that isn't too like taxing on the central nervous system. He's very big on making sure that his central nervous system is very optimally recovered between training sessions. This rep range anywhere between like 8 to 15 reps, 3 sets. He's also a big advocate of not spending too much time in the gym, so the workout I'll leave in the description down below should take you relatively no more than an hour. Feeling kind of thirsty. It's a good thing I got my sparkling water. Refreshing. Alrighty, so I'm actually gonna stay right here on these cables. I'm gonna do a side lateral variation. Now when it comes to like side laterals, I know Kinobody is a very big fan of what's called rest pause training. So rest pause training is essentially gonna be hitting the first initial set between like 10 to 20 rep range, rest 5 to 7 seconds, hit a set of 5 to 7, rest 5 to 7 seconds, 5 to 7 reps, rest 5 to 7, 5 to 7 reps. So it's rest, pause, you're resting, pausing, resting, pausing. I have to say, it makes for a juicy, juicy pump. If you haven't tried it, give it a shot. Ooh. 5, 4, 3, 2. I probably shouldn't drop it. I honestly should probably just hold the cable. This setup can be a little tedious, but I got it. 5, 4. 5, 4, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Oh, shit. Whew, and that's pretty much just one set. All you need is one set of that. When you're training with intensity, you don't need a whole lot of volume, so one set and you're good. Trying to spot me? Trying to spot me here?
You're doing great. I think I might buy the
Whew, alrighty, finished off this workout with some tricep push down. Did about 3 sets. Kept it relatively between 10 to 15 reps. Got to have more volume in there. You know, some people say less is more. Kinobody's a big advocate of that, not being in the gym for too long. But when he is in the gym, he trains hard. He trains with intensity. He kind of just does like the bare minimum almost, and what seems like volume. But if you're focused to those like few exercises that you select, that you train with intensity, you can get away with not including as much volume in there. At the end of the day, he's able to stay in great shape for years now. If you enjoy it, you can stick with it by all means.
Alrighty, and it's time for the big feast, as Kinobody would say. What we have here is a triple steak Chipotle bowl. I feel like this wouldn't be a Kinobody video if it didn't have the triple steak signature Chipotle bowl that he always gets. Lots of cheese and guac on the side, of course. Now, let me tell you something about intermittent fasting. One thing that I noticed personally up until this point, and maybe I went a long time without eating this again after I broke my fast, but I am pretty low energy right now. I'm pretty tired, honestly, and I can't wait to eat this because I feel like I just need food right now. And I did wait a while. I worked out how to train a client how to work, so I fortunately couldn't get to this, but my mouth is salivating at just the thought of this. By the way, these two things together, $23 for this. I don't know if it's due to inflation or what, but I mean, it's that Kinobody lifestyle, that's for sure. Give this bowl of a taste test, shall we? Oh yeah. Nothing like some fresh meat in the mouth after fasting. You know, I used to think Kinobody was over exaggerating whenever you take a bite of food and go, oh my gosh, it's so good. I'm saying that right now, and honestly, the reason why I'm saying that is because I'm so freaking hungry from fasting. Yeah, this tastes amazing. Always up to this point as well, probably around like 1,700 calories after this. I mean, this is a pretty calorically dense meal, but that's kind of how it's supposed to be. You'll be able to eat like a really big meal like this. You'll get triple steak, which if you enjoy like, you know, really like eating until like you're full, that's where this intermittent fasting comes into play, versus like if you were to eat like smaller meals throughout the entire day. Now, there are ways to make them more voluminous, because if you kind of just almost want to pig out, this is a good tactic to do that while still trying to get lean. Now, fun fact, I actually used to eat very much like this, you know, between like 2017 to 2019. I was doing intermittent fasting. I was eating a crap ton of Chipotle. And really what this method of style helped me understand was something that both Kinobody and I agree on, is calories in versus calories out. Like, he's a very well aware of that and the laws of thermodynamics, and doesn't try and like disagree with that by any means, because at the end of the day, you can't. Anyone that tries to is just not smart when it comes to nutrition. And one thing I also like about him too is that he doesn't put a huge emphasis on like eating a ton of protein. I mean, he eats relative around maybe 0.8, sometimes even 0.6 or 7 grams of protein per pound. He doesn't really try and even shoot for his body weight in protein. He actually goes for a little bit less and likes to eat more fats and carbs, which personally, I love that. I eat a lot of protein by default because like I eat more now these days, kind of like Greg Doucette. I have more of a higher anabolic, you know, diet, and like utilize a lot of those recipes because personally I enjoy them. It's what's worked for me, and like I personally couldn't imagine myself dieting for like a bodybuilding show like intermittent fasting. I've used the methods that Greg has talked about, and that's the way I enjoy dieting for like shows and, you know, eating the off season. But this style of eating helped me really understand the concept of calories in versus calories out. And really, again, this is a style of eating. It's not so much a diet, it's just you're eating just in a smaller window. And when I started eating like this, I started understanding more, hey, calories in versus calories out. It helped me understand the breakdown of like a balance between protein, carbs, and fats. So it really did set a good foundation for me to understand nutrition better. Because before this, I was kind of just like following the typical like bro diet of eating like, hey, 5 to 6 times a day and chicken, broccoli, and rice, and that's what you have to do. And this helped me understand that you're allowed to eat like really fun foods. It's just about the calories that you put in at the end of the day. But anyways, I'm gonna sit here, eat this Chipotle bowl and this guac. About one more meal after this, and I will see you guys then. Alrighty, here with the last and the final meal of the entire day. Now, Kinobody has been known to eat some things towards the end of the night. He always kind of varies his evening kind of snack after the big feast. I've seen him eat pop chips and chocolate, potato wedges. My favorite that I personally love are some cheese quesadillas right here. These things are absolutely phenomenal. And even cheese, I'm just a big fan of. Now, I think intermittent fasting is a great tool to lose some body fat, lose some weight. The question is, how lean can you really get with it? Well, let's find out from Kinobody himself.
So, getting 5% is not that hard. You just gotta get locked in.
Yeah, 5% body fat with this. Now, he's only saying 5% because he's reporting what a DEXA scan once read him at. Personally, I've seen Kinobody be very lean, actually maintain a very lean body fat percentage. I just don't think he's like really getting down to 5% body fat, because maybe getting to 5% for him might be pretty easy, but getting to 5% is a hard thing to do. He says it's not hard, it's a hard thing to do. At the very least, if getting to 5% isn't hard, maintaining like a really true 5% body fat is actually a very difficult thing. But overall, the message I wanted to say is that he's found a system that works, you know, the best for him, that he loves and able to stick with for years now. He understands that it's calories in versus calories out, which is the most important thing. He just chooses to do it in the style of intermittent fasting, which if it works for him, it works for him. Now, for me, the reason why I stopped fasting is because based on my shifting schedule as far as like when I can't work out, around the time I stopped fasting was when I started training in the morning. Trying to train in the morning and really push some weight and really train hard with intensity, you know, 5 to 6 days a week as compared to the 3 that Kinobody does. I just found for me that fasting and like trying to train at a certain level of intensity just wasn't necessarily ideal, especially in the morning specifically, because I just feel like I just didn't have any energy. And the minute I started incorporating some food before the gym in the morning and actually started eating breakfast, I just found way more success with my performance. And with success in my performance led to success in my physique. And so that's kind of why I stopped fasting. I got used to eating breakfast, and now I actually enjoy and love eating breakfast. And if I love it, I'm not gonna like switch it up because of some other method that may be optimal for somebody else. I enjoy eating breakfast now. It's given me great results. I've dieted down and competed and stepped on stage, eating throughout the day and not necessarily eating like this anymore. And I plan on, doing that for the foreseeable future and really not changing that style of eating at all. But at one point I was fasting like Kinobody, enjoyed it, and it was just time for a change. So my overall opinion of the guy and of this style of eating, I think that he gives great fundamental principles that everyone should follow if you're trying to lose weight, be in a calorie deficit, and find the most enjoyable way to do it for yourself. If anyone's out there curious about fasting, comes across this video because you've seen Greg and you want to know from the outside perspective, not just from the seller of the programs himself. My honest opinion is that it's worth a shot. Anyways, I'm gonna eat these quesadillas and I'm gonna head to bed. If you guys enjoyed this video, do me a favor, leave a like, leave a comment for the algorithm. It seriously helps the channel grow and I greatly appreciate it. I'm wrapping the video up here. Leave a like if you guys enjoyed, subscribe if you guys are new. It's been your boy Joe. Peace.